Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, and this is my second take, shorter and more abbreviated because I was standing over a vent the entire time. I didn't realize it until I started editing the video. So we're going to talk about two stories from James Luceno, more briefly than I ever have before. The first one is Saboteur. It's in the Darth Maul Shadowhunter paperback version. They would include these ebooks into the paperbacks. It was a smart move to make you buy the book, not once, but twice. Worked on me. I got it, of course. And it's funny that we have two short stories by Luceno in this book, even though the book was not written by Luceno himself. Now again, that's just a Del Rey thing, but I found that kind of interesting. So this one deals with, of course, some sabotaging going on an ore company, and the rival company hires the same saboteurs to sabotage their rival. So they're getting hired by both ends to sabotage them both. So they're going to sabotage both ships in both operations. So the whole time, Darth Sidious has sent Maul out on a mission to make sure everything goes according to plan. And Maul basically sits there through most of the short story, silently judging how unprofessional these guys are and how they're screwing up one thing after the next, and it's just so sloppy. And then he eventually gets involved where he just slaughters them all, right? Now, for whatever reason, this serves the greater purpose, Sidious tells Darth Maul. Great. We don't know really how, and if there was a point to it all, I missed it. It's just a regular Darth Maul storyline. He's going to kick some booty at the end, but other than that, it was just ho-hum. Now, speaking of ho-hum, I'm going to talk about Cloak of Deception. That sounds awful, doesn't it? Cloak of Deception is probably my least favorite James Luceno novel. I knew that going in, but I thought, why? Why was it that bad? Because I love James Luceno. A lot of his books, in fact, probably every book you're going to hear me review after this is going to be just 5 stars. But this one I remember being 2.5 or 3 or something, somewhere just not as good as the other ones. And I think I finally figured out why. The story revolves around, I don't know. There's so many characters we're focused on throughout the book that the first half is focused on Captain Cole and his band of mercenaries. I guess we're supposed to like them because they're cracking jokes the whole time as they're robbing from the Trade Federation, blowing up the ship afterwards, but letting the Neimoidians escape, the Trade Federation escape through escape pods first before blowing up the ship. And of course he captures these rare Ignoks, and he's going to take them with him. Okay, aha, good pirating, he's the regular modern day Robin Hood. All right, but then we find out he's just getting paid to do a job, and this is his last job. He's going to retire as a moisture farmer because there's no other retirement job that we can think of in the Star Wars universe. But hold on, that's just the first third. Then we're going to shift again, or the first quarter. The next quarter focuses on Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. Now, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were featured a little bit in Captain Cole's storyline because Qui-Gon has been chasing him like Captain Ahab and Moby Dick. I mean, he's been hunting for him. He's obsessed with capturing Captain Cole. And Captain Cole escapes Qui-Gon. Captain Cole fakes his death. And though Qui-Gon has no evidence, he's sure that he hasn't seen the last of Captain Cole. He tells the Jedi Council that. So then it follows Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, a lot of characters. Jor Sabath is in it for a little bit. I'd forgotten about that this was the book that he was in. He just kind of guest starred for a little bit on the elevator with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and spoke to them for a minute. But V'Ger from New Jedi Order is in it. She's in the adventure, but we rarely hear from her. She goes with Adi Gala to cut off the crooks from this way. Or you see her and she's in, Obi-Wan looks over and there she is fighting off some more battle droids and whatnot and signaling Obi-Wan to go ahead. So she's in the adventure, she's there, but she really doesn't have that much to do dialogue-wise. She speaks every once in a while. So while Qui-Gon Jinn is butting heads with the Jedi Council and trying to do things his way, we then shift again to another bad guy that we saw kind of earlier introduced called Havoc. Havoc's not his real name. They're very keen on telling you that. He said, they don't know my real name. And then when Senator Palpatine meets him, he imagines that Havoc is not his real name. Well, who is he? We don't know. Okay, he's just some guy who works for the Nebula Front, who hates the Trade Federation and everything they've been doing in the Outer Rim, basically running off the competition, raising up prices, again, getting rich off the poor or whatnot. So he wants to stop them too. He doesn't like that he wasn't invited to some kind of discussion from Valorum. So he tries to assassinate him. Now, later on, he's trying to assassinate him for a second time, but he wants to set up the Trade Federation as the culprit. And the problem with this is everyone knows the first assassination attempt that failed was the Nebula Front. So they're already the main target. Why involve the Trade Federation now and try to set them up? I get you want to set them up so they take the fall, and Valorum, you know, even though he's not assassinated, he's like, aha, the Trade Federation tried to assassinate me. You're done for. Wouldn't you already see that if the Nebula Front already tried to kill you? Wouldn't you say, this may be a setup by the Nebula Front to make their opposition, the Trade Federation, look bad? I don't know. That's really never explained. In fact, when Captain Cole comes back, he gets on the job with Havoc again, or maybe it's the first time. No, it's the second time he's getting a job with him. But Havoc betrays them. He kills most of Captain Cole's crew. Captain Cole seeks revenge. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are mixed back into this third story arc, mainly revolving around the third quarter of the book is revolving around Havoc, really. But then Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan apprehend Captain Cole, leave him with the captured Havoc, at gunpoint, because they have to go find where this assassin is. And Havoc and Captain Cole basically end each other. They both die together in some struggle. So at the end, when it's all said and done, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and all the Jedi Council, they don't know who was really in charge of this assassination on Council of Valorum. The Trade Federation has a legitimate alibi that they were called away at a time for a legit reason, but they don't know who called in that reason or what happened to all the witnesses, because on the planet Iradu, Governor Tarkin runs it, and he insisted that it be, since the assassination happened on his planet, it needs to be, the investigation must be led by him in his planet. And of course they pull up no leads. It says the trail goes cold, Tarkin drops the ball. Well, obviously he did it on purpose, right, to cover up any mention of, or I guess the Trade Federation, Darth Sidious, any of their involvement, I guess, is what they're hinting at. But Qui-Gon's frustrated because something else is here. Mace Windu and Yoda do the whole, something building this is. A Phantom Menace it is. They don't say that, but you can kind of tell it's the same talk that we get from them in Episode 1. They must watch this situation closely with the Trade Federation. Trade Federation, because of all the pirating, they get the army that they wanted to protect them. It's for protection. You're also going to see, this is also where the E.T. connection is made. The creatures from Episode 1, the E.T. creators, they have one line of dialogue, I think, during one of Council of Valorum's big Senate meetings. They speak, he acknowledges their planet, and they speak for a little bit. It was just a nice little Easter egg in there. No, I'm not someone who's like, oh yeah, E.T. and Star Wars share a connection. I mean, I guess officially, but I'm not really big and excited about that. But I should get to the fourth quarter of this book, which is really good, because then it focuses on Council of Valorum and Senator Palpatine. Council of Valorum, for some reason, after that, the adventure doesn't end. It goes on for like 30 more pages, or 40 more pages, I think, where he gets busted with the Ignots. They were deposited into an offshore or off-planet account under Valorum. So did he authorize the raid of the Trade Federation to rob them? And is he greedy? Is he dipping his hands in people's pockets and stealing money? Is it him? It's just meant to cause up a stir, to have that vote of no confidence that we see in Episode 1 later on. By the way, this whole time on Naboo, we hear from what's going on is that King Varuna has been caught in a scandal, and he does a self-exile. But then the newly elected Queen Amidala at the very end contacts Palpatine and goes, Varuna was found dead. He went, oh no, was he sick? No, foul play. But Queen Amidala got rid of the old, corrupt security force and installed Captain Banaka to be on the guard. But Palpatine feels that he may not find anything. Because it was a cover-up with him and Varuna. So I really liked that. That was really neat. In fact, if this book would have focused more on just Valorum and Senator Palpatine the whole time, those parts of the book are fan-friggin-tastic. Those parts alone are the reason you should read this book. You shouldn't skip this book. It is James Luceno. It has moments of really good stuff, but it's just such a conglomerated mess of just, okay, this is your focus, Captain Cole. Captain Cole will be the star. Oh, you won't see him till the end. Okay, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, you saw them a little bit at the beginning. Here they are now. It's their story. No, I'm bored with that. Let me see. Let's bring up Havoc. You know that character I introduced way back in Chapter 2? Well, now he's going to be the big baddie. And here's everything happening with him. Okay, now in the final, what we think is the final story arc, no, I want to write some more Valorum and Palpatine. Can I get some more of that? And I don't mind it, because like I said, that's the best part, but it feels like it's another story, like a short story attached. The current events happen after Cloak of Deception. This could have been a Star Wars Gamer, Star Wars Insider short story. It really can. It would have been an excellent one too. But it's meant to sow up distrust with Valorum. Palpatine's there for him. He twists the words. He's starting to manipulate Queen Amidala, and Palpatine's just a genius in this. And that's the good stuff in there, because he's talking with Valorum, talking to the senators. He's basically just spinning wheels and spinning those plates, and no one knows that he's the real threat to the Republic. And he's trying to set him up to get Counselor. In fact, it talks about how Mas Amedda, who's in Episode 1, he got elected to keep keep an eye on Valorum through all the current trouble he's been having. And they chose Mas on purpose because he is such a stickler to reports and stuff that it'll drag down the Senate and lock it up and make Valorum seem even more useless. And the senators are happy with that because they want him to politically fail and replace him with someone else. And they mention all the characters that you see from Episode 1 who are in it and who are going to apply to run, for a counselor. And of course, Palpatine's name gets mentioned by a few of the senators because he's one of us. He's a good guy. He's one of the guys. He's the little guy fighting for the good of the whole galaxy. Overall, the book is decent. It is not James Luceno's best. I'm going to stay by that. But there are some really good parts here. All right, folks. That's it for now. See you next time.